The seed happened when I was watching a YouTube video on the problem of solar power in Africa. And the EU was looking at spending $40 billion to build a bunch of solar farms in the Sahara Desert and then ship the power to Europe. And I was just blown away by the value of that. Like, it's worth $40 billion to bring energy from this place of high sunlight to low sunlight. And it immediately just clicked in my brain, like, oh, this is like one of the biggest gradients I've ever seen. Because throughout my life, I've done calculations on like, what if you take all the mountains and like, get energy from lowering them into the oceans? Like, okay, that would power humanity for like 200 years. Or like, what if you slowed the moon down, and slowed the Earth down and made a moon turbine? Like, how much energy would that produce? How long could that power humanity? I've done like all these calculations.
Again, you and I have very different hobbies.
Yeah, and I missed this one. I didn't see this one. I didn't see the sunlight gradient. Once I saw it, I just couldn't stop thinking about it. And I just stayed up till 4 a.m. for like weeks doing math. And I was originally trying to move sunlight around in vacuum tubes. I was like, I'll move the sunlight from the Sahara Desert to Europe in vacuum tubes. And it was like, $30 billion, which is still insane. But it was just the idea of moving the sunlight around. And then I realized, like, wait, moving sunlight from space to the ground is so much more leveraged. There's so much more energy availability. You don't have the nighttime thing, and you can serve places that do have the nighttime problem. So just the difference in value was insane. I had the experience from SpaceX, so I had the confidence to just, I was like, yeah, I can build a satellite. It's not gonna be that hard. Just figured everything out, started doing all the math, and it works quite well. With all the solar farms that we already have on Earth, it's already economical. We can beat the price of batteries fairly easily. And then all these other markets started developing. So there's obviously serving towns, all around the world, like Scandinavia in the winter, that kind of thing. All the wedding proposals, all that kind of more niche stuff. But then there's construction projects.
What do you mean wedding proposals?
Yeah, we got a lot of applications for people who want to propose to their spouse.
Under the sunlight?
Yeah, because you could flick the satellite on. It's like, I want to propose to the light of my life with the big light from space.
What about clouds?
Yeah, clouds are in the way sometimes. So you got to pick the right day when it's not super cloudy out. Look, for us, it's not so bad because we can move the spotlight around within a couple 100-kilometer area. But if it's not the right day in your time, we can just schedule for in the next 1 or 2 days, something like that.
Does this affect the ecosystem? Are you heating up the Earth more?
It affects an incredibly small piece of the ecosystem. And it's also not that much energy. It's just basically just hitting the solar farms themselves. And when you do the calculation out of the energy added by our system versus the energy added by fossil fuels, they're we add a little bit more just direct heat, but the really important thing with fossil fuels is how much CO2 you're releasing in the atmosphere. We release almost no CO2, it's just the rocket launch, and that breaks even quite quickly. But then the long-term effects of having that CO2 in the atmosphere forever, of the just burning fossil fuels, is so much worse than what we're doing. It's way more total heat added.
Gotcha.